Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever been in that situation, maybe as a manager or a product lead, maybe just someone trying to figure out how things are really going, where you need to get honest, unfiltered feedback from a really large group?
Oh, absolutely. It's a common headache.
Yeah, you send out a survey, maybe you do a few one-on-ones if you have the time, and then
Yeah.
then you're just left sifting through these like mountains of data,
Mm.
trying desperately to figure out what actually matters, and maybe more importantly, why it matters. It can feel like pulling teeth, honestly.
Or, like you said, sifting for gold in a really muddy river. It's tough.
Exactly. And this feels especially true when you're trying to gauge something really nuanced, like, say, overall customer satisfaction, or maybe for a bank, trying to understand the reasons behind a fluctuating net promoter score.
Ah, yes.
But,
NPS. Crucial metric.
right, that NPS score, it tells you how likely customers are to recommend you.
Yeah.
But, you know, a number is just a number until you understand the story behind it, the human story.
And that's where things get interesting, isn't it? What's truly fascinating here is how the sources we're looking at today really describe a profound shift.
A shift. How so?
Well, it's moving us beyond simply collecting data, like you're taking a static snapshot, to actively dialoguing with it. It's a much more dynamic process.
Okay, dialoguing with data. I like the sound of that.
So our mission today really is to understand the mechanics and, frankly, the pretty far-reaching implications of this new AI-driven approach for getting genuinely actionable insights.
Actionable being the key word there.
Absolutely. And we'll pay particular attention to how it lets you ask those critical why is that questions,
Yeah.
peeling back the layers to get to the core of issues.
That's just the surface stuff.
Exactly. And not just for internal teams, but also for crucial external folks, like, say, retail bank customers. We'll be drawing mainly from materials provided by Insteria and PulseShape.com, some illuminating LinkedIn posts, some insightful YouTube video transcripts.
Okay, got it.
And we'll explore how this methodology promises continuous, actionable dialogue, how it helps uncover those often elusive root causes and allows you to track progress over time, and, importantly, compare its pros and cons against those conventional, often frustrating feedback methods we started with.
That sounds like a perfect plan because, yeah, before we jump into this maybe exciting future, let's really confront the present or maybe the painful past that, let's be honest, many of us are still living in when it comes to getting feedback.
The status quo.
We've all been there, right? Staring at those endless email surveys. They land in your inbox. They're often super generic, one size fits all.
And frankly, quite boring.
Totally boring. You click a few boxes, maybe you type a quick comment in that little open-ended field at the end.
If you even bother with that part.
Right. And then you're left wondering, sometimes with a bit of a sigh, does anyone ever truly read this? Or, more importantly, do they actually act on it?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
And the sources we looked at highlight this interesting point. These traditional forms, okay, they might be anonymous in theory, but they often don't feel truly private to the person filling them out.
That's a subtle but crucial distinction. The perception matters.
It really does. And this perception, this lack of feeling truly safe, it can lead to critically low engagement. Or, maybe at best, you get incredibly superficial answers.
You get the quantitative data, maybe the score, the number on the scale, but you miss almost all the qualitative richness.
Completely. You miss the nuance, the underlying emotion, or that absolutely critical why behind an opinion.
Which brings us back to banking.
Exactly. For a bank trying to understand, say, a drop in their NPS score, getting a 6-foot from a customer doesn't tell them why.
Was it the wait time, the app, something else entirely?
Precisely. Was it a long wait? Was the app interface confusing? Was it an unhelpful interaction at the branch? A generic survey just leaves you guessing, making assumptions.
So what does this mean for actually improving services or customer satisfaction, especially in a place like retail banking where reputation is everything?
Well, it means you're basically flying blind,
Yeah.
right? Making potentially big decisions based on really incomplete information.
Which leads us to a really fundamental question.
Ah.
How do you gather truly authentic, in-depth feedback at scale and without demanding countless hours from your managers or your employees or, crucially, thousands of your customers?
Yeah, the scale problem.
The conventional wisdom, as you pointed out, usually leads down two paths, neither of which is ideal.
Okay, what are they?
Either you do these broad, shallow surveys that lack any real depth, or you try for deep, qualitative interactions, interviews, focus groups, but those are just completely unscalable.
Right, you can't interview thousands of customers one by one.
Exactly. The sources highlight this as a persistent, really painful bottleneck that this new approach we're discussing is explicitly trying to solve. Think about the endless meeting dilemma.
Ugh.
One-on-one interviews, focus groups, even internal workshops, they give you that invaluable, rich, qualitative insight, no doubt, but they are incredibly time-consuming.
And the logistics.
Oh, the logistics are prohibitive. Imagine trying to conduct meaningful individual interviews with 50 or 500 or, yeah, thousands of bank customers, or even your own employees across different departments.
Nightmare. Scheduling time zones.
It's an operational nightmare. You're
Yeah.
wrestling with schedules, battling time zones, trying to fit into busy lives. Often, your qualitative research effort ends up being incomplete or just perpetually delayed.
Even if you manage to collect it all.
Right. Even if you do, manually synthesizing feedback from hundreds, maybe thousands of individual conversations, it's not just mind-numbing grunt work.
No.
It's also highly prone to unconscious bias creeping in from the analysts doing the synthesis.
Ah, that's a good point. You start seeing what you expect to see.
Precisely. Which further delays the insights and makes them less relevant by the time they're actually processed. And the challenge of getting real-time insights is particularly stark here.
Because these methods are slow.
Very slow. Traditional methods only give you snapshots, a single point in time, like an old photograph. They simply can't provide continuous monitoring of how perspectives are evolving or, crucially, the impact of changes you've just implemented.
So you're always reacting to the past.
They're constantly playing catch-up, yeah, reacting to a past that might not even be relevant anymore.
And it's not just the collection part that's a headache, is it? Even after you've pulled all that feedback together, maybe from those time-consuming methods,
Yeah.
what's the next challenge?
Well, often you're left looking at these mountains of static reports.
Static, yeah. And they feel outdated almost before they're even compiled, right?
Absolutely. These reports get rendered obsolete so quickly by the speed of modern business, especially in dynamic sectors like banking.
So think about a bank rolling out a major new feature for its mobile app. Or maybe they adjust branch opening hours based on some initial feedback.
Mm-hmm.
If they relied on, say, a quarterly survey, that feedback would be weeks, maybe months old.
By the time the report actually lands on someone's desk, the whole landscape could have shifted. The insights might be totally moot.
Exactly. And the sources point out this other huge difficulty: follow-up.
Ah, yes. Trying to go back to the well.
Right. Once that big report is generated, trying to ask specific, nuanced follow-up questions to the original respondents, the very people whose input shaped the report.
It's difficult or often literally impossible.
Yeah, without launching a whole new survey cycle from scratch, which is just as time-consuming.
Creating this painfully slow feedback loop.
Painfully slow is right. Changes you implemented based on old feedback, you can't accurately track their real-time impact.
So you don't know if your solutions are actually working.
You're flying blind again.
Right.
You can't verify if your solutions are solving the root problems you thought you identified, or maybe they're even having unintended negative consequences.
It's a significant systemic barrier to continuous improvement and agile decision-making.
Especially for a bank, right? Where customer experience is paramount and needs constant tuning.
Absolutely. It's a high-stakes environment.
Okay, so we've laid out the frustrations pretty clearly, I think. The traditional ways are, well, lacking.
To put it mildly.
Now, let's pivot. Let's talk about what feels like a genuinely revolutionary aspect in the feedback world. What if we could change this whole process, turn it from a spatting form into a real human-like conversation, but do it at scale?
That's the core idea, isn't it?
It seems to be. This is the promise of PulseShape.com by Insavria. Imagine a system that can effortlessly engage with hundreds, maybe thousands of people.
Employees or customers.
Right, employees or customers. And not with some rigid, static questionnaire, but through a real, dynamic, and frankly, incredibly human-like conversation.
It sounds like having an army of skilled interviewers.
That's exactly how I pictured it. An army of interviewers working asynchronously, around the clock, getting to the actual heart of what people are thinking, feeling, experiencing.
Whether it's internal teams or, crucially, those valued bank customers.
And the core concept they talk about is these AI-led qualitative interviews designed specifically to capture unfiltered feedback through a single link.
Simplifying the access point.
Totally. The system uses an AI interviewer to chat with participants. It can be text-based or even voice. And the whole goal is to make sharing feedback feel easy and human.
That easy and human part is key. It's a radical departure from the impersonal one-way street of traditional surveys.
Yeah, it's trying to make feedback feel more like a comfortable chat, like you might have on WhatsApp or Teams, not some bureaucratic chore you dread filling out.
It's precisely that human-centric approach, even though it's powered by AI, that marks such a profound shift. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this concept of a replica becomes really central.
Okay, tell me about the replica. That sounds intriguing.
It's key to unlocking scalable, qualitative insights. The innovation isn't just that the AI can chat, it's that it can create an anonymized yet authentic representation of an individual's perspective.
Anonymized but authentic. How does that work?
It allows for ongoing interaction with their distilled viewpoint without compromising their privacy. This directly addresses that very human need to feel heard while rigorously protecting individual identity.
Which is a balance traditional methods really struggle with, as we said.
Absolutely. The sources call these replicas the key differentiator. So after an initial AI-led pulse survey, each person's voice employee or customer comes back as one of these anonymized replicas.
And you can interact with it.
Yes, you, as the manager or leader, can actually chat with it. And crucially, they emphasize these are not synthetic bots or made-up personas.
Okay, good.
They're explicitly called living reflectors of real employees or customers. They preserve the original tone, the specific context, and they even directly quote real but anonymized responses.
The anonymity part sounds critical for honesty.
It's absolutely crucial. No names, no personal identifying data. It ensures a truly safe environment for honest feedback. This is paramount if you want people to open up, especially about sensitive topics like banking service issues or internal frustrations.
Makes sense.
And then, what happens next is also pretty clever. These individual replicas are grouped into typically 1 to 5 evolving segments.
Segments, like groups of similar opinions.
Exactly. But it's more sophisticated than just lumping them together. They represent virtual persons or representative avatars. Think archetypes like the skeptics, the innovators, the optimists. They embody the dominant perspectives and the different, often conflicting opinions within the group.
Ah, so you see the main camps forming.
Precisely. It provides an incredibly structured view of these shared viewpoints and, importantly, how many individuals stand behind each one. They describe it as being like having 5 team panels without scheduling 5 meetings.
Wow, okay. That really paints a picture of the efficiency gain and the depth you get without the logistical nightmare.
Exactly. It combines scale with structure and depth.
That structural insight is really compelling. So, okay, for someone listening who's thinking, all right, I'm intrigued, maybe even desperate for a better way, how simple is this to actually set up and use? You'd kind of imagine a complex setup for something this advanced.
Surprisingly, no. The sources emphasize it's designed to be remarkably user-friendly. You log in to app.pulseshape.com, and the interface isn't meant to be daunting.
That's a relief in the world of enterprise software.
Isn't it just? You're not immediately faced with a terrifying blank slate. Instead, you can pick from 3 predefined scenarios.
Oh, like templates.
Sort of. They're quite versatile. For instance, one might be about surfacing hidden talents in a team, another about optimizing team effectiveness, or even uncovering automation opportunities.
Useful starting points.
Definitely. But what I find genuinely brilliant is the flexibility. You're not stuck with those. You can also create your own custom questions or instructions just using plain, everyday human language.
No jargon required.
Nope. You tailor the inquiry precisely to your needs. Whether you need feedback on a new banking product or want to gauge sentiment after a big reorg, or maybe understand internal process friction better.
That's powerful.
And to help you refine your approach, they even suggest you try it out on yourself first.
Like a dry run.
Exactly. It's like a dry run for your AI interviewer. This self-testing lets you fine-tune the prompt, make sure it's clear, effective, and getting the kind of responses you want before you roll it out wider.
That's smart. Low-risk way to get confident with it.
It really is. It underscores their commitment to practical usability.
Okay, so you've fine-tuned your prompt, you've tested it on yourself, you feel good about it. How do you actually launch it to your team or maybe to your customer base?
Again, the process seems incredibly streamlined compared to the old ways. You go to the team survey section, click the Small Plus button, simple enough.
Okay.
Then you give your survey a clear name, maybe mention the period, the topic, add a brief description. You set some soft targets like a goal for participation and a deadline. Standard stuff.
Right.
But here's where it gets really accessible. A unique link is generated. And they mention this special summer offer where it costs a symbolic €9, which makes it remarkably cheap to try.
€9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very accessible. And this link, you can share it pretty much anywhere. Slack, email, WhatsApp, whatever internal chat or customer communication tool you use.
So distribution is easy.
Very easy. But the truly critical accessibility feature, the one that really broadens the reach,
What's that?
even people without smart devices can participate.
Wow.
They provide a toll-free number. People can simply call in and complete the qualitative interview by phone, interacting verbally with the AI interviewer.
Okay, that is significant, especially for, say, bank customers who might not all be tech savvy, or factory floor workers.
Exactly. It's a subtle detail, but it makes a huge difference for inclusivity. It ensures you can reach all your team members or customers, regardless of their tech setup. No valuable perspective gets left unheard just because of a tech barrier.
That bridges a major gap. Okay, so the link is out there. People are responding via text, voice, phone. What happens next? How quickly do you see results?
This is another major departure from waiting weeks for a report. The system provides immediate, real-time response collection and summarization.
Real time. Seriously?
That's what they claim. As soon as someone participates, their session is visible in the platform. You can see the full transcript, listen to the audio if they used voice, and get an immediate summary of their input.
Wow. The AI is processing on the fly.
It seems so. It's not just passively collecting, it's actively processing and synthesizing. And the overall survey summary gets updated every single time someone new participates.
So you see the picture building continuous.
Precisely. And you don't have to keep checking the app constantly, which is great.
Yeah, who has time for that?
Right. Instead, you get notified by email whenever someone participates with a direct link straight to the updated summary. They specifically designed it this way to give you only relevant updates, no overload.
Filtering the signal from the noise.
Exactly, giving you the signal over noise. But beyond those short real-time summaries, there's also a more comprehensive management report prepared in the background.
Okay, what's in that?
It's designed as a complete package. Key insights, recurring issues, new ideas, and recommended actions and next steps. Imagine the power it can apparently distill 50 or 500 interviews in one place into actionable intelligence in minutes.
Minutes. That's incredible compared to manual analysis.
It really is, and you still have control. If you're not happy with a summary or want a different angle, you can manually regenerate it. Plus, you always have full history, access all the old data, the full transcripts.
So transparency is maintained.
Absolutely. It really aims to cut through the manual grunt work and get you straight to deep, actionable insights with unprecedented speed.
Okay, this next part sounds like where the magic really happens, the ability to actually interact with the feedback.
Yes, this is where it truly becomes a deep dive into opinions and motivations, going way beyond just surface-level data.
So instead of just reading a static summary or looking at a number, you can actually chat with these replicas, these anonymized group voices.
That's the idea. As if they're right there in a live conversation with you. You can ask, okay, that's interesting, but why is that? Tell me more.
It's like having a virtual workshop at your fingertips.
Exactly. The sources describe this as the core experience. Managers can chat with those customers or employees, like in group chat real time, even if they are not physically present.
That's wild.
This live chat interface with the replicas, or the segments they form, lets managers ask those precise follow-up questions, get clarification, and genuinely dig deeper.
And the answers come from the original feedback.
Crucially, yes. The segments respond using real, anonymized quotes pulled directly from the underlying individual responses, so the authenticity is preserved.
It's not just paraphrasing.
No, it's grounded in the actual words people use, just anonymized. This isn't just about understanding what people think, but getting to that fundamental why.
So a bank could use this. How?
Well, instead of just knowing their NPS is low in, say, the Northeast region, they could probe the replicas representing customers there to understand why. Maybe it's specific pain points with online banking features only used there, or a recurring issue with staff at a specific branch that wouldn't surface in a normal survey.
Getting past assumptions to actual specific issues.
Exactly. Identifying the granular pain points.
That ability to go beyond the what to the why, that feels like the critical qualitative leap here.
It really is. Traditional surveys are just inherently static. They don't allow for this kind of dynamic, real-time probing.
No follow-up questions possible.
Right. But this chat interface with the replicas, it mimics human dialogue. It enables those nuanced why questions that are absolutely essential for proper root cause analysis.
And it encourages managers to think more deeply too, I imagine.
It does. It encourages critical thinking by letting leaders explore the underlying assumptions and motivations, hearing it directly from the aggregated, anonymized voice of their people or customers.
And the sources specifically mention these interrogation techniques.
Oh, yes, they highlight them as a core strength. The ability to ask, why is that, or tell me more, is specifically designed to surface a real root cause of problems and suggestions, recommendations for improvement.
So you could ask things like,
For example, a leader could ask, what needs to be fixed instantly within our team to improve efficiency? Or maybe, how can we upgrade our customer onboarding process in the long term? And they'd get segmented responses showing diverse perspectives.
different viewpoints side by side.
Exactly. And what's more, they say the segments can even debate with each other.
Debate. How does it work?
It simulates a productive group workshop feel, apparently, providing a full spectrum of answers rather than just one averaged out viewpoint. It gives you a richer understanding of complex issues.
Like issues affecting a bank's operations or a product's success or customer satisfaction.
Precisely. It moves you past just seeing the symptoms to understanding the underlying causes, which is where the real solutions are found.
Okay, one thing that always makes me a bit nervous with AI systems is, well, hallucination. The AI just making stuff up.
That's a very valid concern. Absolutely.
Does this system address that? What happens if you ask a question it doesn't have data for?
That's actually one of the most fascinating aspects. The sources are very clear. The PulseShape AI is explicitly designed not to make things up if it doesn't have an answer in its information pool.
Okay, that's reassuring. So what does it do?
It prioritizes authenticity. If you ask something that wasn't covered in the initial chats, nobody answered it, the AI doesn't guess. Instead, the sources say, next time you run your pulse check, it's added a new question to real persons, so we ask the persons, and they somehow synchronize the digital replica.
Whoa, okay, so it learns the gap and asks real people next time.
Exactly. It's a profoundly smart mechanism. It ensures future feedback rounds will directly address your new query, continuously enriching the dataset based on your evolving questions.
So the system adapts to what the user needs to know.
Yes. It's constantly learning and adapting, building a more comprehensive picture over time, but crucially based entirely on real human input.
Making it trustworthy for decisions. It's evolving data, not invented data.
Precisely. Grounded in actual feedback, collected and anonymized.
This naturally leads into the idea of continuous monitoring, doesn't it? It's not just a one-off survey.
Absolutely. This is where the continuous dialogue aspect really shines, moving far beyond the static nature of traditional methods. And it raises that question. How often can conventional methods really provide agile, responsive tracking of sentiment shifts over time?
Rarely, if ever, in my experience.
Right. With PulseShape, the feedback isn't a one-and-done event. It continuously refreshes feedback over time. This can happen on a schedule you set maybe monthly, quarterly, or it can be triggered proactively if the system detects missing context for a question you're asking.
Okay, so it keeps the data fresh.
Exactly. And this ongoing capability lets you track signals over time to monitor the progress, positive or negative, of any changes you implement. And, crucially, gather direct feedback on changed actions implemented.
So back to the bank example. They roll out a new app feature.
Right. Or they redesign the customer service process in their branches. With PulseShape, they're not waiting months for the next survey cycle. They're potentially seeing signals over time, a near real-time stream showing if customer sentiment is improving or declining, maybe hour by hour, day by day.
That's incredibly agile feedback.
It's absolutely crucial for validating improvements, spotting unforeseen issues quickly, and adjusting strategy in real time rather than finding out about a problem months later when it's become a huge issue.
That kind of responsive tracking is something traditional methods just can't match.
Not even close.
And you mentioned notifications earlier. Does it just bombard you with every little update?
No, and that's another smart design choice, it seems. You don't get drowned in data. Managers are alerted only when something meaningfully shifts in the feedback landscape. So only when it's important.
Exactly. Ensuring they are never spammed, only informed when action is needed. This is invaluable. It helps leaders focus their time on making decisions and taking action, not just endlessly sifting data.
It's like having a smart assistant listening constantly.
Yeah, listening to the pulse of your organization or customer base and just tapping you on the shoulder when it's genuinely important, when a decision point arises.
Cutting through the noise to give you the signal.
Precisely. And the sources explicitly link this back to customer impact, saying it helps figure out their impact on customers' opinions and stickiness to bank, including spreading a good word.
So measuring loyalty and advocacy drivers.
Yes. Even though many examples are internal, the core concept translates directly to customers. This continuous monitoring and smart alerting means insights aren't just generated, they're actionable and timely.
Connecting feedback directly to business value. Right. The tool aims for instant, unbiased insights that lead straight to actionable ideas, helping leaders find automation opportunities, surface blockers like manual tasks, resource issues, underused talent, even safety concerns.
And it provides recommendations.
The goal is to provide recommended actions and next steps based directly on that aggregated qualitative data, ensuring feedback isn't just heard, but actively and effectively acted upon.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. The pain points of the old ways, the mechanics of PulseShape. Let's really bring it together now with a direct comparison. What does this actually mean for someone trying to get that genuine pulse, maybe in that competitive retail banking space we keep mentioning?
Well, fundamentally, it seems to me a radical shift in efficiency and scale. Almost unbelievable, really.
How so? Let's break down efficiency and scale first.
Okay, traditional methods. We know they're time-consuming. Potentially hundreds of hours in one-on-ones, the clunky email forms, then that slow, painstaking, error-prone manual aggregation.
Weeks or months for a report.
Easily. By which time, as we said, insights might be stale. PulseShape, on the other hand, makes some bold claims. Honest feedback overnight. The ability to capture deep, authentic feedback from hundreds of people at once, maybe thousands.
Overnight, wow.
They describe it as a unique one-to-many to individual interaction that scales effortlessly to hundreds or thousands.
So for that bank, instead of waiting weeks or months for the big quarterly customer satisfaction report,
they could potentially get actionable insights reflecting current sentiment in minutes, maybe hours. That's a profound transformation of the feedback landscape.
okay, that's efficiency and scale. But does efficiency mean sacrificing depth?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Are we just getting more data or are we getting better data?
Right.
And the sources strongly emphasize PulseShape's ability to move beyond just surface answers, to uncover the underlying reasons for opinions, which is fundamentally different from just getting a score on a form.
So comparing depth of insight.
Traditional feedback is mostly quantitative, right? NPS scores, rating scales, maybe those limited open text boxes that rarely capture nuance. It really struggles with the why.
Yeah, the why is usually missing.
PulseShape, however, focuses specifically on qualitative, open-ended scans, gathering real voices, no filters, aiming for the depth of a human 1.1 interview, but delivered at scale. It explicitly drills into feedback to reveal the why behind the answers.
And that qualitative depth is crucial for understanding root causes, like why customers are leaving a specific bank product or finding those specific service improvements.
Absolutely essential in a nuanced environment like banking. Then there's the continuous engagement aspect versus snapshot surveys.
Big difference there.
Huge. Traditional methods give you that static single point-in-time view. A historical artifact tells you how things were.
Not how they are now.
Exactly. PulseShape, conversely, continuously refreshes feedback. It allows for an ongoing deep dialogue, establishing permanent, transparent feedback channels. This lets you constantly monitor the impact of changes, ensuring insights stay relevant and actionable.
It's an ongoing conversation, not a one-off poll.
Precisely. It evolves with your organization and your customers.
And all of this funnels back to arguably the most important part, actionability and impact.
Right, because insights without action are just interesting data points.
Exactly. Traditional insights, as we discussed, often vague, hard to translate into specific actions, or they get stale quickly because of those slow feedback loops. PulseShape, in stark contrast, aims to provide not just data, but key insights, recurring issues, new ideas, and recommended actions and next steps.
That direct linkage is incredibly powerful.
It seems like it. It allows you to connect feedback directly to real business dollar value, identify concrete cost-saving opportunities. It's about getting straight to the actionable ideas.
Cutting out the grunt work.
Yeah, cutting out the grunt work of collection and initial analysis. Being informed precisely when action is needed, not just spammed with raw data.
So that bank moves from just knowing their NPS is down
To understanding exactly which service touchpoints are causing it. Maybe that mobile update, maybe call center waits. then getting recommended actions, and crucially, monitoring the impact of those fixes in near real time.
Transforming feedback from a chore into a powerful engine for continuous improvement and real business outcomes.
Okay, let's unpack this even further, because you're right, while a lot of the examples focus on team and employee feedback, and that's huge, the potential here seems much bigger.
Oh, absolutely. The sources explicitly mention the potential for customers.
Right. Imagine having these real-time, human-style conversations, not just internally, but with hundreds or thousands of your customers.
It means any CEO, any manager can sustain an ongoing, deep dialogue, not just with their whole organization, but with their entire customer base.
That feels like the real game changer, especially for industries like retail banking, right?
Yeah.
Where customer satisfaction, loyalty, reputation, it's everything.
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, especially thinking about Peter Fusek's background.
The CEO of Insteria.
Yes, his background is deeply rooted in banking and CRM. He was advisor to the CEO at VB Banka, head of CRM and research at Zuno Bank AG, senior CRM specialist at Raiffeisen International.
Okay, so he knows banking CRM inside out.
Definitely. His expertise includes CRM, product management banking, analytical CRM for retail customers, product development, and marketing in banking. This background aligns perfectly with the core problem PulseShape seems designed to solve for banks: how to have that continuous, actionable dialogue with retail customers about service quality and NPS.
So it's not just a generic tool, it feels tailored for this kind of challenge.
It seems uniquely positioned for it. This technology isn't just an incremental improvement. It feels like a mechanism to move a bank beyond just reactive customer service. Putting out fires after they start towards truly proactive, insight-driven service improvement.
Which raises that important question you posed earlier.
Yeah. How many banks truly understand the root causes of why customers leave or why they're dissatisfied, rather than just observing the symptoms, the lagging indicators on a dashboard?
Exactly. Let's walk through a couple of potential scenarios for how a bank could use this. Measuring the real causes of low NPS, for instance.
Right. Instead of just seeing the low score.
You could chat with those anonymized customer replicas from PulseShape to deeply understand why is that. Maybe the why isn't one single big thing.
Often it isn't.
It could be a mix. Consistently long waits at certain branches, plus a confusing UI on the new app, plus maybe some isolated incidents of unhelpful staff interactions that people didn't feel comfortable reporting formally.
Allowing the bank to pinpoint those precise, granular pain points across different touch points, moving past assumptions to data-backed reality.
Getting specific. Okay, what about understanding the impact of changes?
Another critical challenge. If a bank implements a new mobile feature, or changes branch hours, or revises support scripts, they could monitor real-time customer sentiment via these replicas.
So, immediate feedback on the change.
Exactly. This continuous loop provides an agility traditional surveys just can't match. They can see the immediate impact on customer opinions and stickiness.
Allowing for quick adjustments if something isn't working.
Right. It moves the bank from a static, after-the-fact assessment to a dynamic, live understanding of how changes are being received, allowing for iteration and course correction in a way that's just unprecedented.
Which is crucial in today's fast-moving digital banking world. It turns the survey into a kind of living sensor network.
Well put. A living, responsive sensor network.
And finally, this enables a level of proactive problem solving.
That most organizations can only dream of, really. It's not just reacting after problems have grown into big, reputation-damaging issues.
It's about catching them early.
Yes. By continuously collecting and analyzing this deep feedback, banks can identify recurring issues, bottlenecks, points of friction before they escalate into widespread dissatisfaction.
Anticipating needs, not just reacting to complaints.
It's a significant strategic shift. And by showing this continuous, genuine willingness to listen and act on feedback, banks can build much stronger customer relationships.
Fostering trust and partnership.
Exactly. And the ultimate goal here, as the sources hint, isn't just fixing problems or even just boosting satisfaction scores directly. It's about spreading a good word.
Turning customers into advocates.
Right. Actively encouraging positive word of mouth and deepening loyalty by genuinely improving service levels and making customers feel truly heard and valued. It's about turning those raw insights into tangible improvements that resonate and create advocates.
So we've thoroughly unpacked how these AI-powered conversations can really transform how we gather feedback, moving us from that passive, often frustrating data collection to active, maybe even empathetic dialogue. It's about truly hearing the why behind the what.
Not just internally, but with huge potential for retail bank customers. Understanding NPS beyond just a number, driving real service improvements.
Absolutely.
This concept, it fundamentally redefines how organizations can understand their most important stakeholders. Imagine a world where every decision made, every new service launched, every policy enacted is constantly being refined by real-time, in-depth feedback.
Why?
Not just from employees, but from every single customer. It really raises an important question for you, the listener, to ponder.
What's that?
What untapped insights are lying dormant right now in your own organization or within your customer base? Insights just waiting for a human like, why is that? To bring them to light. Insights that could lead to better services, maybe greater operational efficiency, and ultimately that unparalleled customer stickiness and loyalty.